In 2001, right after the Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo administration assumed office in Malacanang Palace in Manila, a couple of us information officers from attached agencies of the former office of the press secretary were detailed to our tour of duty at the palace press office. Our group comprised of what was then known as Operations Center. We were directly involved in several information-related requirements of the President's travel and state visits plans. We were also involved in the President's media interaction team and the Palace news desk. Suffice to say that we worked the clock 24/7. We were provided with food and accommodation, so none of us have to go home every day. We're each given our own weekly 2 days off to see our families, feed our pets, do the laundries and pay the bills. After which, we go back to the palace and stay for 5 days. Our assigned sleeping quarters was at the right tower of the Arlegui guest house, the same house where Presidents Cory Aquino, Fidel Ramos, and Joseph Estrada stayed during their terms as presidents. The right tower is accessed through the bedroom that was once occupied by presidential daughter and media personality Chris Aquino at that time. The bedroom was designed as the official receiving room for the press secretary. Because the office is scheduled to operate 24 hours a day, we work in shifts, so it's normal to find 3 or 4 people working at the staff area during night shifts, while the rest are found snoring in sleeping quarters. Within the 6 months that we've stayed in the said area, every one of us had a story to tell, and all of them bordered on the creepy. Well, one night stood out for me and my friend Hazel, who was also a media placement officer. It was 11 p.m. and we were waiting for the arrival of the night shift people. Hazel was doing the wrap-ups on her reports, and I was preparing to brush my teeth. Upstairs in the tower, our errand boy, Ray, was already asleep. There was nothing out of the ordinary until my eyes caught the curtain that led to the balcony. It was parted, as if someone was standing there and holding the curtains apart with his hands. Only no one was there, and there was nothing to hold the curtains open like that. Like I said, it seemed like nothing if I hadn't focused on it. I had no idea how long it had been like that, but I knew that it shouldn't be like that because the glass doors leading to the balcony was closed. I felt my head grew to 3 times its normal size, especially when the curtains closed, as if suddenly released. I told Hazel that we should hurry up and go upstairs. Hazel must have sensed that I was nervous because her eyes registered concern. Once we got to the tower, Hazel asked me what it was but it was bothering me. So I told her. We decided that it would be better just to sleep and let the night shift staff deal with whatever it was there downstairs. While we were trying to sleep, I could distinctly hear the muffled sounds of a ball slowly bouncing on the wooden floorboards of the office below us. I look at Hazel in the dark to see if she's awake, and I saw her staring back at me. I knew that she could hear the same bouncing sound I was hearing. Although I wasn't sleepy, and my mind was highly alert, I closed my eyes and covered my face with a blanket. I don't know how long I have stayed that way, and I don't recall falling asleep. But suddenly I felt Hazel jumping inside my bed and screaming, "They're here! They're here!" That jolted me up, and I turned to see what the hell was going on. She was on her side of the bed, wide awake and perfectly still. "What's wrong?" she asked. What what, what, what was I supposed to say? So I laid down again, and since I wasn't sleepy, I didn't bother to close my eyes. I focused instead on the sound of Ray's rhythmic snoring. Then it happened again. Hazel jumping on my side of the bed screaming, "They're here! They're here!" I turned and there was Hazel, her eyes closed, but I could tell she was awake. I stared at her a little longer just to make sure she wasn't going crazy. Hazel's eye fluttered wide open, and she was staring right in front of her. There was no fear in her eyes, not even confusion. She sat up, looked at me and Ray for a while, before she laid down again. I turned away, and the same thing happened 2 more times. Her suddenly jumping on the side of the bed and screaming, "They're here, they're here." Or at least I believe that it happened that way. But every time I turn around to look at her, she'd be on her side of the bed, lying quietly on her side, and very much awake. As I believe I was very much awake. Finally, it was 4 a.m. Both of us were still awake, though very quiet and still. We didn't talk at all through the whole thing. I told her I had to go down and read through the day's issues of the morning papers. She nodded her head, and I left her sitting on her side of the bed, still very quiet. And Ray was still snoring on his bed. Downstairs, only 2 of the normal 4 night shifters reported, and they were busy going to the emails and online news. I asked them what time they punched in. One of them said he punched in at 15 after 12, while the other guy said he punched it around quarter before 1. It did just seem like they noticed something out of the ordinary, and I didn't bother to ask. So I did what I had to do, wrote my reports. Uh, Saturday, since it was early, I decided to go back to the tower and sleep it off. The remainder of the morning, Ray was already up fixing his bed, while Hazel was still awake and yawning, and finally feeling sleepy. But on my way up, I caught the last part of the story that Ray was telling Hazel. According to him, he was awake. He was awakened several times during the